Ever since Thorpe Park first opened, the theme park has been constantly expanding and changing with the times to offer guests new attractions to experience. Often, to make way for these new projects, older rides, shops and areas have to be removed or re-themed. Small, hidden details can still be found around the theme park today, which can give us a glimpse of what the theme park used to look like. Join me within this video as I'll be talking about Thorpe Park's top 10 secrets and details that you might not know. My name is Luke from Coast Connection, and thanks for choosing to watch this video. Let's start the countdown with number 10, Fast Track. Often online there are plenty of disagreements on what is the best ride at Thorpe Park. One thing we can all agree on is that no one likes paying for Fast Track. Believe it or not, Thorpe Park used to have a free Fast Track system. Back when Loggers Leap, Tidal Wave and Colossus were the three main attractions, you could simply pick up a free Fast Track from a ticket machine. All you'd have to do is simply scan your park ticket or push a button, which would give you a paper time slot for later that day so you can gain access to the Fast Track queue. I believe there was also a machine installed at Nemesis Inferno when that was built, but this one was located in the ride exit building. The one outside Loggers Leap is now used for a shaded seating area, and the structure located at Colossus is no longer in use, but it has been used as a drink stall. And finally, outside of Tidal Wave, this structure has been turned into a food stand. Next time you're at the theme park, look out for these very strange structures, which have now all been repurposed. Number 9, the Swarm's Plane. During its planning and construction, the team designing this roller coaster decided to take the theming to the next level by actually buying a real discontinued plane. To make sure it fit the theme of the ride, they cut the plane into various sections which can be found scattered around the area. One of the main wings is used as a near-miss element during the first drop, and the rest of the plane can be found under the second inversion. Staying on the Swarm Island, you can also find a neat little Easter egg located on one of the shipping containers. LC-12 was the project's code name whilst it was under construction, and it was also heavily used in the theme park's marketing campaigns around the new expansion. It also mentions some fun facts about the ride, including its number of inversions and how tall the coaster is. You can find this Easter egg twice in the area, with one of them being located above the shop's entrance and the other slightly more faded version around the side of the container. Number 7, Soar Alive. Did you know that this horror maze is actually entirely located on a boat? This structure was originally named the Thorpe Bell, and over the years it's been part of various locations around the outside of the theme park. In the past, it's primarily been used as a seating area with various food options. After the successful opening of Soar the Ride, this boat was then turned into a horror maze in 2010 known as Soar Alive. When it first opened, you could easily tell it was floating in the water, but over the years various trees and shrubbery has hidden a lot of the boat from the public's view. With the attraction now closed, the boat is still in the same location, with rumours suggesting that the boat can no longer be moved and fears that the structure is no longer safe to do so. Number 6, Amity Cove. This section of the theme park has plenty of hidden details and fun bits of theming that you might have missed on your most recent visit. With the entire area heavily themed around Tidal Wave, a lot of the surrounding buildings have been adapted over time to fit this aesthetic. If you look at the current KFC building, you can see where a tsunami has hit the Amity Hotel and left a mark at the bottom of the building, showing how high the water was during this incident. You can also spot a large shark near the roof of the building, which has been thrown into the wall as a result of the large wave. If you go inside the building and look up towards the ceiling, you can actually see its head poking through. Also within this food outlet, you can also read newspapers about the backstory of Amity Cove, which can be found on the various posters on the walls. Number 5, Derren Brown's Ghost Train. With Derren Brown's Ghost Train being one of Thorpe Park's relatively newer attractions, this ride has several Easter eggs. On the outside of the building, you can see that the Victorian warehouse is dated 1871. This is a nod to the attraction's creator Derren Brown, whose birth year is 1971. Obviously, this wouldn't fit the attraction's Victorian storyline, so they simply took off 100 years to make it more relevant. You can also find 2 more Easter eggs on the Ghost Train, which is located around the tube trains. If you look at the train schedule on the tube platform, you can see that they've added the original opening date of the attraction, which was the 6th of May 2016. Unfortunately, due to the attraction's delayed opening, this date is technically wrong, but it's nice to see they added in this Easter egg during its early construction. The other hidden detail is that the ride features nods to Derren Brown's previous projects. Trick or Treat can be found on the tube station wall as graffiti, and most of the adverts on the tube trains are actually hints to some of its most popular TV shows. Number 3. The Walking Dead The Ride. This attraction has gone through many rethemes since it first opened, with the ride originally being called X No Way Out. This was a backwards indoor roller coaster which had a very strange computer theme. It was then later rethemed into just X, where the trains were turned forwards and music was added to the ride. It's now known as The Walking Dead The Ride, which opened back in 2018. To show some respect to the previous versions of this attraction, the original name can be found in the cafeteria room at the end of the ride. All you have to do is look for the van in this room, look at the number plate, and you can see the initials of the original attraction. Number 2. Space Station Zero. Back when Thorpe Park was still aimed at the families, a new roller coaster was opened in 1984. This was an indoor powered coaster located in the building which currently holds the arcades and KFC. Despite its thrilling name and theme, this is actually the same coaster as the Flying Fish. Over the years, it's been moved and rethemed multiple times to fit in with its new surroundings. It originally operated as Space Station Zero from 1984 until 1989. It was then moved next to the Teacups, where it was then rethemed into the Flying Fish. It stayed here until 2004, when it then had to be moved once again to make way for the construction of Stealth. The roller coaster is now situated next to Tidal Wave, opposite the beach. Last on this list is all about the large fire that happened at Thorpe Park on the 21st of July 2000. During one of the busiest days of that theme park season, a major fire started near the middle of the park, which resulted in 2 classic attractions being burnt down and thousands of visitors and staff evacuated. These 2 attractions were Mr. Rabbit's Tropical Travels, which was a boat ride, and the other attraction affected was Wicked Witch's Haunt. This attraction was such a cool dark ride which basically used a very similar ride system that Disney uses, where the vehicles move along a track whilst the seats can turn and rotate to show different scenes. As the name suggests, this was a haunted house type of attraction where you got to travel through various sets featuring some quite disturbing animatronics. Going back to the fire, this started around 3 PM on the boat ride, and it eventually spread to the surrounding buildings. According to Memories of Thorpe Park, more than 100 firefighters from 15 fire crews were called to Thorpe Park to help fight the fire. It was eventually brought under control, but many buildings and entire rides had to be demolished due to the extreme damage caused by the fire. In Angry Birds Land, you can still see roughly where some of the buildings used to be if you look at the side of this building. As you can see, the theming kind of just abruptly ends, but this is where the old building used to be connected. Whilst it is a shame these rides no longer exist, the area was eventually used for the construction of Nemesis Inferno in 2003. There are still plenty of more Easter eggs and interesting facts about Thorpe Park that I'd love to discuss in a future video, so make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. My name is Luke from Coast Connection, and I'll see you in my next video.